The illusion of a packed gym. Walk into a busy gym at 6 p.m. and it feels like you've discovered a gold mine. Every machine is occupied. People are waiting their turn. The front desk is buzzing. From the outside, it looks effortless. More people equals more money, right? That's the assumption most people make when they think about owning a gym. And honestly, it sounds logical. But here's the catch. You're watching the most misleading hour of the entire business. Because behind that crowded room is a completely different reality. One that most people never see. And if you're thinking about starting a gym, understanding that reality is the difference between building a profitable business and burning through your savings. Before we go deeper, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because we break down business models like this in a way that actually helps you think differently. Now, let's unpack what's really going on. Chapter 1. A gym is not what you think it is. At first glance, a gym looks like a fitness business. But financially, it's something else entirely. It's a subscription business. The weights, machines, and classes, those are just the surface layer. The real engine is recurring payments. And once you see it that way, everything starts to click: pricing, capacity, even why some gyms feel overcrowded while others don't. But here's where it gets more interesting. Not all gyms are built the same way. You've got asterisk low-cost, high-volume gyms, asterisk mid-range commercial gyms, asterisk premium lifestyle clubs, asterisk boutique fitness studios, asterisk personal training-only setups. Each one is playing a different game. Some rely on thousands of members paying small monthly fees. Others focus on fewer clients paying significantly more. And that single choice, volume versus value, shapes every financial decision that follows. Chapter 2. The real cost of opening a gym. Most people assume the expensive part is buying equipment. It's not. The real cost is transforming an empty space into a functional, compliant fitness facility. Before you even open the doors, you're dealing with asterisk security deposits that can cover months of rent, asterisk structural modifications, asterisk flooring designed to absorb heavy impact, asterisk locker rooms with proper drainage, asterisk large mirrors for training areas. And then there's something almost everyone underestimates: ventilation. A crowded gym generates heat, moisture, and air quality challenges that standard buildings aren't designed for. That means upgrading air systems to handle constant circulation. And that upgrade alone can cost tens of thousands. Add licensing, insurance, marketing, and a financial cushion for the early months. And suddenly, even a modest gym can require hundreds of thousands, sometimes over $1 million, just to get started. And at this point, you haven't made a single dollar yet. Chapter 3. Equipment, buy or lease. Now comes the obvious part: equipment. Cardio machines, strength stations, racks, weights, all essential. But here's the real decision. Do you buy everything up front, or spread the cost over time? Buying gives you ownership and avoids long-term obligations. But it drains your cash right when you need flexibility the most. Leasing keeps your upfront costs lower. But over time, you'll likely pay more, and those payments don't stop if your business struggles. Either way, you're locking yourself into fixed expenses. And in a business where revenue fluctuates, fixed costs are what can quietly destroy you. Chapter 4. Location isn't just about traffic. A common mistake new owners make: choosing a location based purely on visibility or population size. But gym businesses operate on something much smaller. Most members come from a tight radius, usually within a short commute. That means your real market isn't the entire city. It's a small zone around your facility. And within that zone, income levels matter. Because pricing has to match what people nearby can realistically afford. If your pricing and your neighborhood don't align, it doesn't matter how nice your gym is. The math simply won't work. Chapter 5. The truth about memberships. Now we get to the most important part. And it's not what most people expect. Imagine 2 members. One comes consistently, several times a week. The other signs up and barely shows up. Which one is more profitable? It's the second one. Because the first member consumes resources, asterisk equipment wear, asterisk utilities, asterisk space during peak hours. The second member? They generate revenue without adding cost. And here's the reality. A large percentage of members fall into that second category. That's not a flaw in the system. It is the system. Because if every member showed up regularly, most gyms physically couldn't handle it. The business depends on staggered usage and in many cases, inactivity. Chapter 6. Why capacity is an illusion. Think about this. A gym might have thousands of members, but it can only physically hold a fraction of them at once. If everyone decided to show up at the same time, it wouldn't just be inconvenient. It would be impossible. That's why gym operations are built around probabilities, not certainty. They rely on usage patterns spreading people out over time. And that's also why the quiet member, the one who rarely attends, is so valuable. Chapter 7. The January Surge and What Comes After. Every year, something predictable happens. January brings a massive wave of new sign-ups. Motivation is high, goals are fresh, and gyms capitalize on that momentum. But the pattern doesn't last. As the months pass, attendance drops. Many new members gradually stop showing up. But here's the key point. They don't always cancel. And that gap between intention and action, that's where a lot of revenue lives. Smart gym owners understand this cycle. They prepare for it, and they don't mistake temporary spikes for long-term growth. Chapter 8. Independent versus franchise. Another major decision. Build your own brand, or join an existing one. Franchises offer structure, recognition, and support, but they also come with ongoing costs, fees, royalties, and shared revenue. Independents keep full control and all profits, but they carry more risk and responsibility. Neither path is automatically better. It depends on whether the added exposure and support justify the ongoing cost. Chapter 9. Why people don't cancel. Here's something interesting. A lot of people don't actively use their memberships, but they also don't cancel. Why? Because cancellation isn't just a financial decision. It's emotional. It means admitting you didn't follow through. And for many people, it's easier to keep paying than to confront that. There's also friction. Some gyms make cancellation deliberately inconvenient. Extra steps, delays, requirements. All of it increases the likelihood that members stay longer than they planned. Chapter 10. Hidden costs you didn't expect. Beyond the obvious expenses, there are smaller ones that add up. Music licensing, for example. Playing music in a commercial space isn't free. There are legal requirements tied to it. Then there's maintenance. Machines break down. Upholstery wears out. Cables snap. And all of it needs constant attention. Utilities are another major factor. Air systems, lighting, water usage, all running daily. Individually, these costs don't seem overwhelming. But together, they quietly eat into your margins. Chapter 11. When big gyms fail. You might think large chains are immune to these challenges. They're not. Even well-known fitness brands have struggled, not because people stopped working out, but because their financial structures couldn't hold. Debt, fixed costs, and overexpansion can outweigh even strong demand, which shows something important. A busy gym does not automatically mean a healthy business. Chapter 12. How gyms actually make money. At its core, the math is simple. Revenue comes from memberships and additional services. Expenses come from rent, payroll, equipment, and operations. If revenue exceeds expenses, you're profitable. If it doesn't, you're not. But getting to that point takes time. New gyms often take over a year to reach stability. And during that period, cash reserves matter, because growth isn't instant. Chapter 13. The role of personal training. Memberships provide the base, but personal training often drives higher margins, because it generates more revenue per client. And when structured efficiently, like small group sessions, it becomes even more scalable. That's why many gyms focus heavily on this area. It balances out the lower margins from standard memberships. Chapter 14. The two outcomes. Over time, gym businesses tend to fall into two paths. In one scenario, everything aligns. Asterisk strong member base. Asterisk controlled costs. Asterisk effective retention. And the business becomes stable and profitable. In the other, small issues start stacking. Asterisk higher cancellations. Asterisk unexpected repairs. Asterisk increased competition. And slowly, profitability disappears. Not because of one big failure, but because of many small ones. Conclusion: what actually matters? So if you're thinking about opening a gym, here's the truth. It's not just about attracting members. It's about managing everything that happens after they join. Because the success of the business doesn't come from the people who show up every day. It comes from understanding the balance between usage, cost, and consistency. And that balance? It's far more delicate than it looks from the outside. If you found this breakdown helpful, Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we'll keep unpacking business models just like this. And the next time you walk into a crowded gym, you'll see it very differently.